Hello guys, so welcome back to the kitchen, and today's recipe is gonna be a butternut squash soup. So here we have the butternut squash from the garden. It's a pretty big one, but we have even bigger ones. And this one is already turning kind of yellow, so I think it's perfect to be eaten. So first we're just gonna chop the ends off, and also we're gonna cut it in half. Look at the color, guys. Now we're just gonna remove the seeds. Now we're just gonna cut the butternut squash in squares so it's easier to cook and also absorb more flavor. Okay, so now we have the whole garlic and we're just gonna peel it, and then we're gonna rub the garlic all over the butternut squash, and we're also gonna put it some in the middle here. Okay, so now we have a garlic here and we're just gonna chop it in half. And now we're just gonna rub it a little bit on the butternut squash and put it in the middle. Okay, so now we're gonna sprinkle some thyme over it. Now we're gonna also put some black pepper on it. Finally, some salt. Okay, so now we're just gonna put this butternut squash on the baking tray, and now we're gonna put it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. Alright guys, so this soup is also great as a sauce for pasta, so we're gonna make some rice pasta today. So while our butternut squash is baking, we're gonna put in 2 packages here, or you can also just eat it as a soup with some grains like buckwheat, millet, but today we're gonna try to eat it with the pasta. Alright, so while our pasta is cooking and our butternut squash is baking, we're gonna prepare our cream sauce. So we're gonna use about a cup of cashews, and we're gonna blend it together with about a cup of water. Here's our butternut squash. Okay, so here is our butternut squash out of the oven. So it's not completely soft, but you don't need to be completely soft because it's gonna be cooking more after. So now we're just gonna strain our pasta. Okay, so now we're just gonna scoop our butternut squash out of here. So if it's still too hard, you can use a knife. Alright guys, so once we scooped out all our butternut squash, which is not so easy, it's a little bit of a war. Now we're gonna start with chopping about 2 onions or just 1 onion if you have a less amount, or smaller butternut squash. And we're gonna fry it on the pan with some pepper and salt. We're gonna add a little bit of oregano and some smoked paprika. Now we're gonna add half of our butternut squash. Alright, so after we dry saute our butternut squash for a few minutes, we're gonna add some vegetable broth or just water, just enough so it covers the butternut squash. At this point we're also gonna add the cashew cream that we made earlier. So after we stir it together good, we're just gonna let it boil for a few more minutes. Guys, now you can see our soup is nice and boiling, and it's been boiling for about 10 minutes. Alright, so now we're gonna get our immersion blender and blend the soup until it's smooth. Can remove this. But guys, so now we got a good consistency here. You can see how nice and creamy it is. There's still a few chunks here that I missed, but I think overall it's nicely done. So I'm just gonna taste it one more time. I definitely need some salt.
Support reach.
Alright guys, so now I'm gonna make a final taste test. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of pasta. This is a rice pasta, and as I said, you can also have it with the grains, but today it's kind of like a sauce slash soup, so it can be used as a sauce or soup. You can see how creamy it is. So this is sauce that are the same. Now I'm just gonna pour it over pasta. See how creamy it is. It's like some creamy Alfredo pasta. I'm just gonna try it out.
Support reach.
Pretty good. So we'll give this recipe a go. And the butternut squash is fun to grow. It grows so big. Just gonna stay tuned for more gardening videos and recipes, and I hope you enjoy this channel. Let me know some feedback down below if you like this video to be shorter, or if you enjoy these more longer and kind of more detailed videos. So stay tuned for more videos, and as always, keep cooking and keep gardening.